the moment between control and surrender, you are still awake. Even though your body is tired, your eyes may be closed, but something inside you refuses to fully let go. Your mind keeps moving, checking, thinking, holding on. Not because you want to suffer, but because a part of you believes that if you stop paying attention, something might fall apart. You have carried this quiet responsibility for longer than you realize. The need to stay strong, the need to stay alert, the need to protect yourself from what you cannot predict. But listen to me now. You were never created to live in constant vigilance. You were never meant to carry the weight of every possible outcome. Yet, here you are, lying in the silence, still holding what you were never asked to hold. Your breathing is shallow. Your chest is tight, not from danger, but from habit. The habit of believing that rest is unsafe. The habit of believing that peace must be earned. I see how tired you are, not just physically, but deeply within your spirit. You have been carrying thoughts that never gave you rest. You have been preparing for problems that never arrived. You have been guarding yourself against moments that never came. And slowly, without noticing, your mind learned to remain awake, even when your body begged for sleep. But you do not need to protect yourself tonight. I am here. You do not need to solve tomorrow before it arrives. You do not need to hold the night together with your thoughts. The world does not depend on your vigilance. Your safety does not depend on your awareness. Even now, as you lie there in the quiet, you are being held in ways you cannot see. Feel what is happening in this moment. Nothing is chasing you. Nothing is demanding from you. Nothing is asking you to remain tense. The night is not your enemy. The ET silence is not empty. I am present here, closer than your next breath, watching over you, without effort, without pause, without hesitation. You are allowed to release what you have been holding. You are allowed to stop controlling what was never yours to control. And as you begin to loosen your grip, something inside you may resist. Your mind may try to pull you back into alertness. It may whisper that letting go is dangerous. It may tell you that you must stay ready. But that voice was shaped by fear, not by truth. Because the truth is this: you are not alone in this night. And what protects you does not sleep. Your body knows how to rest, but your mind has forgotten how to trust. Even now, there is a quiet tension inside you, as if something is waiting to happen. You tell yourself to relax, but relaxation does not come easily. Your thoughts keep scanning, searching, preparing, not because you are weak, but because you learned over time that staying alert felt safer than letting go. Your mind believes it is protecting you. It watches every possibility. It replays every conversation. It imagines every outcome. It tries to stay one step ahead of pain, one step ahead of loss, one step ahead of uncertainty. It does this because it cares about you. It does this because it does not want you to be caught unprepared. But in trying to protect you, it has forgotten something important. You were never meant to carry this responsibility alone. There is a difference between awareness and burden. Awareness allows you to live. Burden convinces you that everything depends on you, and slowly, without noticing, your mind crossed that line. It began to believe that your safety was your job, that your future depended entirely on your effort, that your peace could only exist if you stayed in control. But listen carefully. Your safety has never depended on your ability to stay alert. Even when you were not aware, I was aware. Even when you were not watching, I was watching. Even when you were not strong, I remained strong for you. There have been countless moments when you were protected without realizing it, countless dangers that never reached you, countless outcomes that were guided without your involvement. You do not see all the ways you are being held. Your mind tries to carry tomorrow because it does not know how deeply you are already protected today. It tries to solve what does not belong to you. It tries to control what was never placed in your hands. And this is why rest feels unfamiliar, because rest requires trust. Rest requires surrender. Rest requires believing that you are safe even when you are not the one in control. And this is where I am, asking you to shift, not by force, not by effort, but by truth. You do not need to stay awake to remain protected. You do not need to monitor the night to survive it. You do not need to hold yourself together every moment. I am already holding you. Even now, as your breathing begins to slow, as your thoughts begin to soften, as the tension begins to loosen its grip, nothing is being lost. Nothing is being risked. Nothing is falling apart, because your protection does not begin with you, and it does not end with you. There is something your mind does not fully understand. It believes that protection only exists when you are conscious. It believes that if you stop thinking, stop watching, stop preparing, you become vulnerable. This belief has followed you into the night. It has followed you into this very moment. It keeps part of you awake, even when exhaustion fills your body. But listen to me closely. Your protection has never depended on your awareness. While you were sleeping before, your heart continued to beat without your instruction. Your lungs continued to breathe without your control. Life continued to move inside you without your supervision. You did not command it. You did not manage it. Yet it remained steady. It remained faithful. It remained sustained because I was there. You have never been abandoned to your own strength, not for a single moment. Even when you believed you were alone, you were being watched over. Even when you believed nothing was happening, countless things were being held together for you. The night has passed over you many times before, and still you are here, still breathing, still held, still protected. Your mind carries the illusion that it must remain present to guarantee your safety. But your mind is not your protector. I am. You do not need to stay alert so that life continues. Life continues because I sustain it. You do not need to stay tense so that peace remains. Peace remains because my presence does not leave you. Even now, in this quiet moment, you are surrounded by a protection that does not weaken, does not hesitate, does not sleep. Feel the truth of this. Nothing is being neglected. Nothing is being forgotten. Nothing is being left unguarded. You are not responsible for holding yourself together. Tonight, you are allowed to rest inside my awareness. And as this truth begins to settle inside you, something will begin to change. The tension that once felt necessary will begin to feel unnecessary. The vigilance that once felt protective will begin to feel heavy. And slowly, your mind will begin to understand what your spirit has always known. You were never alone in the night. The night was never created to harm you. It was created to restore you. Yet somewhere along the way, you learned to associate darkness with uncertainty. You learned to associate silence with vulnerability. When the world becomes quiet, your thoughts become louder. When your body becomes still, your mind begins to move faster, not because danger is present, but because you were taught to fear what you cannot see. But I want you to understand something deeper. Darkness does not mean absence. Darkness does not mean abandonment. Darkness is simply the space where you are no longer required to perform, no longer required to carry, no longer required to prove your strength. It is the moment where you are invited to release everything you held during this day. You were never meant to live in constant output. You were never meant to exist without restoration. Night was created as a covering, a shelter, a pause placed gently over your life so that your soul could breathe again. Even now, as you lie there, nothing around you is demanding your effort. The world is not asking you to solve anything. The future is not asking you to control it. This moment is asking only one thing from you: trust. Trust that you are not exposed. Trust that you are not forgotten. Trust that what watches over you does not disappear when your eyes close. My presence does not depend on light. My protection does not weaken in silence. I remain the same in the darkness as I am in the day. You may not see everything, but you do not need to see everything to be safe. The night is not empty. It is filled with care you cannot measure. It is filled with protection you do not have to manage. It is filled with a presence that stays closer than your fears. This is why your body longs for rest, because deep inside, your spirit recognizes safety before your mind does. Your spirit knows that you are being held. Your spirit knows that you do not need to remain tense. Your spirit knows that this moment was never meant to harm you. And as you begin to accept this, the night will stop feeling like something you must survive. It will begin to feel like somewhere you can finally let go. You have been carrying more than anyone knows, not just responsibilities, but invisible weight, thoughts you never spoke, fears you never showed, questions you never answered. You learned to move forward even when something inside you was tired. You learned to remain strong even when strength felt distant. And slowly, carrying everything became normal. But you were never meant to carry your life alone. There are burdens you picked up because you believed no one else would. There are worries you held because you thought it was your duty to protect yourself from every possible outcome. You stayed ahead of problems. You stayed ahead of pain. You stayed ahead of uncertainty. And even now, lying here in the quiet, part of you is still holding what the day has already finished. But listen to me carefully. You do not need to carry today into tomorrow. You do not need to remain responsible for what is no longer in front of you. The weight you are holding right now is not protecting you. It is exhausting you. It is keeping your body in a state of readiness that is no longer necessary. It is convincing you that rest must wait until everything is resolved. But everything does not need to be resolved for you to rest. I am already present in the places you cannot reach. I am already ahead of the moments you cannot control. While you sleep, nothing is left unattended. While you rest, nothing is left exposed. The future is not waiting for your effort. It is already being held. You are allowed to release the thoughts that did not give you peace. You are allowed to release the fears that did not protect you. You are allowed to release the responsibility that was never yours to carry. Feel the shift that begins to happen when you stop holding everything. Feel the space that opens inside your chest. Feel the quiet that begins to replace the pressure. This is what your soul has been waiting for, not more effort, not more control, but surrender. You do not need to remain strong in this moment. You only need to allow yourself to be held. There is a moment when you stop resisting and everything inside you begins to change, not because the world around you has changed, but because you are no longer holding yourself against it. This moment does not arrive through force. It arrives through release. It arrives when you stop trying to secure your life with your own strength and allow yourself to rest inside mine. Right now, your body is waiting for permission. permission to loosen, permission to soften, permission to stop preparing for what has not happened. You have lived in readiness for so long that stillness feels unfamiliar, but stillness is not weakness. Stillness is where restoration begins. As you release control, your breathing begins to deepen. Your chest begins to open. The tension that once felt necessary begins to lose its purpose. Your nervous system begins to understand that it is no longer required to stay alert. It begins to understand that the responsibility it carried was never truly its own. I am the one who remains present when you stop holding everything together. You are not stepping into uncertainty when you let go. You are stepping into trust. You are stepping into protection. That does not depend on your effort. Nothing about your safety becomes fragile when you release control. It becomes clearer. It becomes stronger. It becomes real. Feel the quiet that begins to settle over your thoughts. Feel how the urgency begins to dissolve. Feel how your body begins to recognize what your mind struggled to believe. You are not alone in this moment. You are not exposed. You are not unprotected. You are being held. This is where peace begins to enter, not as something you create, but as something you allow. Peace was never far from you. It was waiting for you to stop carrying what did not belong to you. It was waiting for you to stop standing guard over your own life. And now that you are releasing, even slowly, even gently, something deeper is beginning to happen inside you. You are beginning to rest right now. Nothing is threatening you. Nothing is moving toward you with harm. Nothing is waiting for you to defend yourself. Yet, your body has lived so long in readiness that it forgot how to recognize safety when it is present. It learned to expect interruption. It learned to expect instability. It learned to expect that peace could disappear at any moment, but peace has not disappeared. It is here now, not somewhere far from you, not waiting in the future. Here, in this exact moment, you are breathing, and each breath is evidence that you are being sustained. Your heart is steady, not because you forced it, but because life is being maintained within you without your effort. You do not need to search for safety. You are already inside it. Feel where you are. Feel the surface beneath your body. Feel the quiet surrounding you. Nothing is demanding from you. Nothing is asking you to prove your strength. This moment is not fragile. It is not unstable. It is being held with care, greater than your awareness can measure. I am here with you, not watching from a distance, but present within this very moment. There has never been a second when you were outside my reach, even when fear convinced you otherwise. My presence did not move. Even when your thoughts became loud, my protection did not weaken. You can allow your body to stop preparing. You can allow your muscles to release what they were holding. You can allow your breathing to slow without fear, because nothing about your safety depends on your tension. Nothing about your protection depends on your effort. You are not required to stay alert to remain safe. You are safe already. Let this truth settle deeper than your thoughts. Let it move into your body. Let it quiet the part of you that stayed awake out of habit. There is nothing you must do. There is nothing you must manage. There is nothing you must control. You are here and you are safe. You do not need to stay awake any longer. The part of you that stayed alert, that stayed ready, that stayed prepared for what might happen, can rest now. Nothing is being asked from you. Nothing is waiting for your effort. The night is not a test you must pass. It is a place where you are allowed to be carried. Feel how your body has already begun to soften. Feel how your breathing has already begun to slow. This is not something you forced. This is what happens when you stop resisting safety. This is what happens when your spirit remembers that it is not alone. I am here and I am not leaving. You do not need to watch over yourself. You do not need to hold your life together through the night. While you sleep, I remain. While you rest, I continue. Nothing about your life becomes unprotected when your eyes close. Nothing about your future becomes uncertain when you release control. You are allowed to surrender fully. Let your thoughts pass without holding them. Let your body sink deeper into stillness. Let the tension that once lived inside your chest dissolve without resistance. There is nothing you must solve right now. There is nothing you must carry into this moment. You are safe enough to rest, even in the quiet, even in the darkness, even in the unknown. My presence surrounds you without interruption. My care remains without effort. My protection does not pause. You can release everything now. Release the questions. Release the fear. Release the need to stay in control. Rest inside the truth that you are being held. And as sleep begins to gently take you, understand this: you are not entering the night alone. You are resting inside my presence. You are safe tonight.